Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I'm Cyclo. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator. We're doing the Dresden to Leipzig route today. We're going to be doing the brand new route. It's release day, ladies and gentlemen. I don't often get to do something on release day, but today, I did it from Rise Pass when worldwide access was restored to it, and this is pretty much the second time I've gotten to do this. So, Leipzig to Dresden, we're going to explore it today. It's out today. Go get it. This is one of those routes that should be an auto buy for a lot of people because the Dresden to Riesa route is a really nice route, has some exploration options for the network, and it has different services you can do on it. And now you're going to get 3 additional trains in the Ice-T, the 1442, and I believe it's the 261 that is also added to the roster on this. Let me scroll down actually. The original route comes with the 101, the 189, the 146. Yeah, I'm right. It is the 261 that's added to the roster with this route. So the Voith Gravita is added to the roster. And of course, you get to use the 189 and the regular 442 as well. Those are, of course, down here as well. So they're still on the original route. And we're going to get to use, like I said, the 442 up here. There's the 1442 up here. So yeah, all that is there. We're going to get to use all that. So you've got like 6 or 7 or 8 trains you can use between this entire route. There are all sorts of scenario options and ways to put the stock around this route. This should be something that gets a lot of workshop use. I hope it gets a lot of workshop use because I want to see some of your workshop creations, and I will try to play them once I get through all the ones that come with the route itself. So I want to see those workshop creations, get them in there, and I will play them. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and start with the services that I need to show you, the ones that come with the route. I'm hopeful that they work out as well as I remember them because, as you see, I played these first 3 before. And I've played other ones as well, but again, not recording. I used a clone and not recording a score. So I want to go ahead and see if we can get these set up and working as well as they did before. Let's go ahead and do the first service from Dresden to Wiesbaden. We're in the only service in Ice-T. It's also going to be our first service in Ice-T. Something I can tell you if we go down to the... let me see if I can get down there quickly without showing you too much here. Not that there's anything I could really need to show you, but somewhere down here, Munich to Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Here's Munich to Garmisch right here. You can see I did these scenarios before. So you can see the 442 talent shows up here as well. So that's already down here. We already have the Ice-T down here as well. So I have Ice-T scenarios here. Keep an eye on that picture. By the way, the Ice-3M is down here as well, and more 442 and the 426 and so on. So let's go back up to the top. We're going to go back to Leipzig, Dresden. Let's click on the Ice-T on this one. You notice the picture changed. It's a different reskin. It's a different model. So this is a different skin of the Ice-T. The train may work a little differently. I don't know. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this as the first Ice-T that we explore. We are going to go back and look at the other Ice-T on Munich Garmisch-Partenkirchen in the future. For now, let's get into this one. Let's do this first scenario. Let's have some fun. Good afternoon, driver. Today you'll drive this Ice-T service from Dresden to Leipzig. A colleague will take over once you reach Leipzig. Please allow passengers to board here before departing at 1412. So, I was right. It was a service to Leipzig. My memory did not fail me. The menu just says differently. So I guess this is a service... I think the service actually terminates at Leipzig. I wonder why it gave a different name in the menu. I'm going to have to ask about that. In any case, let's go ahead and board our passengers here. Which sounds like a weird way to say it, but I said it. You can see already that we do have a flashing green up ahead, so we know we're going to be leaving at a 60 km/h limit. It actually shows it on our HUD down there as well. Let's see what things we can turn on, what buttons we can press here. Take a quick look around here. That's the nice, stylish looking Ice-T cab. Let's turn on our headlights. Maybe. There they are. Do we have instrument lights? No, they're already on. Nothing to do. And nothing else to really talk about. So let's go ahead and take a look at the train before we take off. Leaving Dresden Hbf. You can hear the engines getting to speed in a hurry, and I misread the signal. That red is for the track to the left. I misread it for a second. Our flashing green signal limits us to 60 kilometers per hour as we leave Dresden Hbf. So our first stop today is Dresden-Neustadt platform 6. We saw that stop coming in the other direction in the previous scenario that we actually ran, where we were limited to the Dresden to Riesa section of the map. Now, I really did mean what I said in the last video. If you remember, I said something about wanting to see the route to, at least part of the route to Berlin, and to complete the track that connects that avoiding track, as I refer to it, to Dresden Hbf. That line to Berlin that we take actually connects to this track. We're going to see that track going off to the left at some point as we go along here. This is a very busy section, so I'm going to miss it. Every time, I guarantee you I'm going to miss it. But it actually is one of the tracks that leads to the left here. You can see some tracks going to the left, probably preparing to leave onto those tracks. Now services are coming along here. You can see these services are named, so we have actually more information on the services in this scenario. I'll try to bring up information as we go along here. You see that we continue to have a green signal. The yellow is strangely for the other track because the engine is in front of it, so I guess that's how it works. I don't know. And now it's red. The yellow is probably for the distance signal. That's why. The yellow is the distance signal. Got it. So it's a red signal because no one should be coming down that track in the direction we're going. We're now in an 80, so I'm going to go ahead and increase our speed a little bit to get to that range. Notice again, I'm not driving with the PZB on. I'm sure in real life it would be required to do that. In the game environment, it just makes it hard to meet the tasks. So now, in this case, we're going to be super early anyway. We could have probably done this with PZB and we probably could have been fine, but I also hate how it works in the game. I just don't like how PZB works in the game. So I think this is Dresden Mitte that we're passing through now. So because we're super early, I'm going to go ahead and start slowing down a little bit now so we don't come too fast into the station. I think going down to 60 is probably good enough because we can go in a minute and a half. We'll be at the station going at 60 anyway. I'm actually just a little over 60, but let's bring it down a wee bit more. There we go. So we should make it to the station in a minute and a half easily. We got lots of time. We're going to have to wait to leave anyway. So we're not going to be allowed to leave until 14:19, I believe. Now, if I'm wrong, we are actually allowed to leave earlier, then okay, I'm embarrassed. But I'm taking my time because I know that we have the time. I'm going to regret that later. I just know it. So you can see we're going to be continuing to Riesa, platform 3. That's going to be our stop at 14:46. Then we're going to go all the way to Leipzig, platform 14. Leipzig Hbf, platform 14, arrival at 15:23. So about an hour and a half, around an hour and a half from when you start the scenario. That is definitely not 70 minutes, is it? That is definitely not 70 minutes. That's more like 83 minutes. Yeah, this is a long one. Be prepared to run this one for a while. So I'm increasing my brake application now. You can see that it is a notched brake setup. So it's not a smooth brake. I have to pick a certain notch and stick with it. I should have come in a little bit faster now that I'm thinking about it. What can you do? So again, we'll stop. We'll go ahead and we'll stop now so we can go ahead and get some good pictures of the train at the station. We're getting close to the end of the platform anyway. Let's go ahead and increase the brakes to get that train stopped. And then we'll ease off as we come to a stop. There we go. Nice gentle brake. Arrival at Dresden-Neustadt, platform 6. leaving Dresden-Neustadt. Our next stop is Riesa. You may be wondering what that service coming in was on the screenshot. That was the S1 service to Shona coming in on the overhead view. So we're going to be leaving at a speed limit of 80 kilometers per hour. We are going to be entering a 160 up ahead. You know this from the first video we did if you saw it on Tuesday. Or if you go back and see it now, and do that after watching this preferably, because this is the new stuff. Alright, here we go. So we're actually gaining speed right now, which is a little disconcerting, because we had the throttle completely off. So we were on a slight downhill, it looks like. I've gone ahead and put the throttle back on just a tad here. Okay, I'm going to remove it for a moment completely until we get into the 160 range. Our train has now crossed the 160 sign. We're going to start speeding up a little bit for that. And as of now, we can go ahead and go to full speed. We're going to do it. This train has no problem getting up to 200 kilometers per hour. This is the epitome of a high-speed train on this route. So this is the train that you will take for high-speed services anytime you need to go fast. But other trains can take the route, they just won't be able to go as fast. There is actually an achievement for getting this train up to 200 kilometers per hour. So if you get this train to 200 kilometers per hour, you will get that achievement. I think you have to do it with this version of the train. I don't think you can do it with the other versions. I think it has to be done with this one. But if someone gets that achievement with a different iced tea, then by all means feel free to correct me. So I'm up to 158 now. I'm going to go ahead and cut the throttle off completely for a moment to see what kind of idle power I have. I'm having a little bit of performance lag here. So I am running on an SSD. I now know that I'm on SSD 100%. But apparently I'm still getting a little bit of performance lag. So it looks like there is a high-end computer element to this route. Even though I have a decent graphics card, it's not the fastest graphics card out there. So I guess that and the fact that my processor is not as high as it could be might be a couple things that are holding me back. And to that aspect, instead of fixing this computer, I should have just bought a new computer. But it would have cost a lot more money, and I don't have that kind of money right now. So I have to hold off on the good stuff there, unfortunately. In the future, I am going to get a newer computer with a much better graphics card, but I have to have the ability to do that first. When I do, you're going to see probably unvarnished gameplay here. With no problem. But for right now, we're going to have a little bit of performance lag here and there. We're just going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. Now, if someone wants to buy me a new graphics card and a new processor, I think the processor is like $800 for an i7 right now. Then by all means, I will take donations. But until then, we're going to have slightly varnished gameplay. So as you can see, I have 500 points. That means that the other two stops are also going to get me another 500 points. There is no room for error in this scenario. I cannot do any speeding. I cannot have any wheel slip. I can't do anything. I have to basically be on time. That should not be a problem because my memory of this scenario is that we're going to have absolutely no problem being on time for Leipzig. We just have to make sure we drive correctly in the middle. There's another service over there on the side. Feel free to pause on YouTube if you want to know who that was, because each train does have a name in this scenario. I'm going to tell you this, driving this iced tea feels absolutely smooth. I'm actually enjoying driving this thing. It is so quiet, you can actually, and I have the volume low to start with, but I can barely hear it. It's very quiet. I can hear the engine, obviously. I still hear the engine very nicely, but it's a very, very quiet train. Like if I go outside the train, you can hear it a lot louder, as you can hear. So a lot more noise out here. In fact, I probably could have opened the windows. Maybe I should do that. What do you think? Actually, I don't remember if this train has windows or not. I'll leave it for now. I don't know if it has windows or not, but it's the only time I'm driving it. We'll, if we drive this in the future, we'll check for windows on it. But I forgot. I keep forgetting about the windows. The trains sound louder with windows, but it also means I have to shout a lot more. So let's not do that. Oh, we have the 130 coming up. Let's get ourselves down to speed. Thankfully, this train, as much as it gets up to speed in a hurry, it also cuts speed in a hurry. So we should have no problem getting our train down to the 130, and we have plenty of time for our stop. So I have no problem getting down a little early in this case. Putting a little throttle back on to stay at 130. There's a train coming along there. Looks like it's a train heading to Dresden Hbf. I got that much out of it. That's about what I got out of it. We're going to be taking the avoiding line, as I call it again, but let's not call it the avoiding line. Let's call it the line to Berlin. It's the Berlin line that we're taking right now. This curve is a 130, and we have to stay 130 on this curve. So the curve is not rated beyond that from the looks of it. Then we can go back up to 160. So right now we can go 160. So yeah, that 130 sign you saw disappeared early there. That does tell me in the previous scenario that indeed the 130 was in effect early when you come from the other direction. So you do have to slow down early if you're coming from the other direction. That is now pretty much confirmed the way that just behaved. So I've once again gone ahead and cut my throttle. I'm staying a few kilometers under the limit, 157, 156. Gonna put a tiny throttle application on since I know I am losing speed. That should help us maintain speed. Of course, we have some uphills and downhills in this section, so that will also affect our speed. This again is the Berlin line. This line does originate from Dresden Hbf, from what I can tell, and or wherever it comes in, it merges in from somewhere anyway. But it seems to come through Dresden Hbf as well. So it does. It is only about 15 miles in. So yes, it is very early in that line, which makes sense because we were very early in our journey from Dresden Hbf. We have a speed lowering to 140 and then 120 kilometers per hour. I'm going to go ahead and just apply a little bit of a brake there, as you can see now. Not too much brake. I don't want to put too much brake on. 140 is fine for now. Let's take the brakes off. I was actually down a little bit early there. I mean, we have lots of time, so it doesn't matter anyway right now. Even though we are probably going to lose a little bit of time on this journey, I don't think we're going to lose too much time. We should be good here. So I'm going just a notch over 140 again while we're in the 160 zone. I will be bringing it back down. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and idle it now, and we're going to see if it drops on its own or if I have to hit the brakes. Dropped a kilometer. Nah, I'll drop it a tiny bit. There we go. That'll do it. We're going to get to 120 anyway. We have to apply the brakes anyway. So here we go to 120. Notice I waited for the 140 sign to do that, so you can do it from the 140 sign. Took it off slightly early. It didn't take the full amount off as I thought it was going to there, so I had to apply a slight brake application to keep it within the 120. We're now in a 120 range. We will get back to 160 one more time before we reach Riesa, but for right now, 120 is our limit. So we're going to enjoy this journey along the Berlin line. Very nice picturesque journey here. You can see some nice rolling hilltops here as we continue along the Berlin line here. Very, very nice area here. So I did mention the Berlin line does start at Dresden Hbf. I actually just brought the information on Wikipedia as we were driving here. It does go through Dresden. There is the line Dresden-Neustadt, but this line actually goes through Dresden-Kotta, Dresden-Chemnitz, Dresden-Stetsch. I can't say that right. And then eventually it rejoins our line where we would be going from Coswig. So where we would be avoiding Coswig, that's where we join the line. And the line actually continues. It's about 100 and... When we get to the route number change after Prosen OST, that's about 50 kilometers. The route numbering changes to 124.6, and then it deducts all the way into Berlin. So there is a route numbering change. It is two different portions of the route. So it is about, based on that math, about 175 kilometers, I think is what it adds up to. Let me just check the numbers on that. As we have a 160 coming up right now. Yeah, 124.6, 50.4. That is exactly 175 kilometers on the journey. And the journey ends at Berlin Dresdner Bahnhof, which is Dresden, I believe, Hbf. That's just probably not Hbf, but I'll just act like it is. Actually, it looks like the start point for the Berlin line is actually Dresden-Friedrichstadt. So the path to Dresden-Neustadt, the path to Dresden Hbf, which is where we started, is actually a different route that is not part of the Berlin line. I'm actually just reading this now, but the lines do connect. So there is a connection there. In fact, the straight journey along, if you were to stay on this line all the way to past the point where we turn back to Neustadt, if you were to stay on the straight line and it were to actually continue, it actually would take you to Dresden Hbf, but the line actually is considered to end at Dresden Friedrichstadt. So that's information I did not realize. I thought Dresden Hbf might have been the origin of that line. Apparently it is not. Now I know. So we're going to get ourselves back up to 160 for just a little while here. So I just brought up the open railway map, and I do see now where Dresden-Friedrichstadt is at the end of that line. I think I don't know if it's actually modeled on this route, but and I don't believe it is from my memory. But if I bring up the map very, very quickly here, I can tell you, bringing up the map, and I'm going to start where I am. There we are. Just check my speed as we go. We're good. So Dresden-Friedrichstadt is right in this direction. So you can see the joint right there. This is the triangle. And it's actually in this area. There's a yard right here. There's an entire yard right in this area where joint junction's off. So the yard is not modeled. The station is in this area right here. That's what we. That's where the Berlin line actually ends. It would be nice, like I said, to see the entire Berlin line modeled in that area. And I think that would be a nice extension. I think it really would be, to have that line added. Now, maybe that's something that someone in the workshop will be able to work on. I don't know, but it'd be nice to see that line at least put in, the new stations put in. They won't be able to have custom assets in the workshop, but having DTG able to model a route and then continue the Berlin line a little further would actually be really nice. I don't think we're going to get all 175 kilometers in one DLC, unfortunately. But at least we can get part of the journey, at least up to the route change. That'd be really nice to see. Maybe a little bit further past the route change as well. I don't know. I'm not sure what the best ending point of that would be. Okay, I'm not maintaining speed at a very good pace here. So let's go ahead and try to find a maintenance area here. We're on a downhill right now, so we're actually gaining way too much speed right now. But it's thinning out now, so we're going to go ahead and move back into an uphill. Excellent, excellent. That's what I want to see. Fantastic. Now, I did think about doing this as a two-part video simply because of the length of the video, but I thought, you know what? This is release day. There's going to be people who want to see this entire route, so I am going to go ahead and publish this as one video. You're not going to have to go anywhere else. You're going to see this as one finished video from Dresden all the way to Riesa, or all the way to Leipzig, and I'm going to try and do it in one sitting. I'm going to try not to have any errors in the middle of this run. I'm not going to try to patch anything together. I'm just going to do it as one sitting. So if I do make a mistake somewhere along the way, so be it. You're going to see a mistake. I'm human. I don't want to go back and replay this because it is a 90-minute, 70, 80, 90-minute scenario, and that is a long time to have to replay if I make a really horrid mistake. So if I make a bad mistake, you're going to see it. Like right now, if I don't lower my speed to 130, you're going to see me speeding right now. So let's go ahead and lower my speed very quickly. I get for not paying attention, huh? Cut that off. Nope, a little more. Those brakes cut off exactly where you want them to. I'm not used to that on a train. So we're down to 130 now. We're going to have to get down to 120 in a moment, so I'm not going to... Whoop, let's do it right now because the train is trying to not behave. Okay, well, just to stay at 127 for a little while. So I believe we're still on the Berlin line right now. We're going to be leaving onto the Bola line in a moment. Actually, no, we've already left that. We're already past the Bola line. I am way behind. We're on the straight path right back on the Leipzig line already. So let's get down to 120. Or 121. That works too. Get down. Get down. Thank you. The train wants to keep gaining speed on these downhills. What can you do? What can you do? And now we're losing speed. Fantastic. Oh, my reverser is down for some reason. Let's fix that problem. I don't know why my reverser got reset. Didn't even notice that. Oh, I see why. I pushed S instead of A or D. That's what I did. Okay, that was my fault. So we're going to eventually be coming up on Nunkrits. Nunkrits, by the way, I believe only opened in 2003. Well, I'll see if we can talk more about that in the future when we actually make a stop at the station, but I'm seeing it's listed as a location since 2003, so it must have been an old Nunkrits station somewhere that I don't know about. Either that or that's where the Nunkrits yard is. I believe this is Nunkrits right here, in fact. Because you saw the passengers there, so that was probably it. So there's no features between Nunkrits and Globitz. So we're just going to go ahead and get to those two stations. Right after Globitz, we are going to cross the Elbe-Ulster Barge Canal right after the station, right after Globitz. Bring our speed back down, or throttle rather back down to 0. Speed can stay up. I like the neighborhoods in this area. This is a very nice area that we go through here. I could be fooled into thinking people live here. I could believe it. Now, it looks like that's a platform there, so it looks like this might have been the Globitz area. I thought there was a platform on both sides. Maybe I missed the platform on my side. We're taking a bit of a curve here now. We're going to find a track joining us. That track is going to be the track coming in from Elsterwerda. The track from Elsterwerda is going to be joining us. That's the track that continues towards Berlin if you were to take that track. So that's another path from Berlin. And I think this is actually a nice idea to put in that triangle up to at least Elsterwerda and up to the route change point. That would allow us more options for train service in this area. So I think that's why I want to kind of see a little bit of additional work done expanding this route using that track and using the track on the Berlin line and finishing the Berlin line up to Dresden Hbf. That'd be a nice way to finalize the route and finalize the path on the Riesa. See, it's a two-line setup coming in. There's going to be another line leaving us. That line goes back out towards Jutterbog. Or Juterbog. I'm not sure how you're supposed to say that. You can see we have a 2 minute or about a minute and a half leeway on our arrival time. So I knew we were going to lose time along the journey anyway because the map seems to be graded for losing time. I don't know why. But we're going to be coming eventually into an 80 before we stop at Riesa. I'm not going to try to cover all the different features here. But we are going to be crossing the Elbe Bridge about a little less than a kilometer away from Riesa. There's also a flood bridge before that. So there will be a couple bridges we're going to keep an eye out here. I suspect we're going to get dropped to an 80 here. So I'm going to go ahead and get ourselves ready to lower our speed. In fact, there is an 80 before the platform, but I think the 80 is going to affect us at the signal. So I'm being a little more cautious. I missed that warning signal, but the next one should tell me for sure. There's the 8 anyway, so I kind of want to drop anyway. It's not too far away from the actual 80, so I'm not going to take chances. Let's just go ahead and get it down. I feel good about that decision. There you go. That signal was telling us we indeed have to get down to 80 by that signal. So I believe this is the bridge I was just talking about. This is the Elbe Bridge, I believe is how I say it. Yeah, the ELBE, the Elbe Bridge. That bridge, of course, is present in the previous version of the map as well. But of course, what is new is beyond this station. Okay, let's put a heavier brake application on as we come in. Let's get down to at least 40 for the time being. Actually, our entire train's going to be in the platform, so let's go ahead and up that brake application. Okay, I've eased the brakes back off to 22% so we can just coast in. We have a minute to coast in. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get us to the end of the platform if I can. So we have our maximum starting location here. But I want to stay fully on the platform. I'm not going to go beyond the edge of the platform. So we are fully on the platform. We have arrived at Riesa, platform 2. Let's open those doors. leaving Riesa. Our next and final stop will be at Leipzig Hbf, stopping today at platform 14. All platforms except platforms 1 and 2 are termini platforms. And if we go straight into Leipzig Hbf, we're not going to be able to access those 2 platforms as they are used for a circle service going around through a number of other stations and then heading north. So 3 to whatever the last one is, 21 or something like that, are all termini platforms, and we would have access to any of those platforms as needed, whatever one we're assigned to. Our speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour leaving the station. We're about at that now. Now, you may have noticed in the screenshots I took a shot of a couple of other trains at the station with the with our iced tea service. The first one was a RE45 service to Chemnitz. The second was an RE50 service also heading to Dresden Hbf. Those were the 2 trains that you saw at the station with our train. So I want to give you that information to give you a full, complete picture of what was happening around us. And now you know. Now we're going to be coming into the LZV portion of the journey here. So we are going to go ahead, when we hear a beep, I'm going to go ahead and move our display down so you can see what's on the display below. That way you can follow along with me. We're going to reduce our outward vision so you can see that. Because I figure you may want to see more information about what's coming up here. Our speed limit is now 120 kilometers per hour. You may have noticed I started increasing towards that. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and up that throttle to 100% to get up there quickly. So I've lowered the throttle now. I'm just going to go ahead and increase a little bit slower now. I did not get information on the iced tea service, unfortunately, so I don't know who that was. So I have a minimal throttle application still applied, 5%. Not going to do much to get up to 120 in the meantime. We do have a 160 coming up, and we are going to, at some point in here, get clearance for 200 kilometers per hour. I will try to touch 200 kilometers per hour for you once in this journey, at least once. But other than that, we're going to keep it just a little bit under that because there's no reason to have to travel at the full speed on this journey. Lowering my throttle quite a bit now. We're down to 150, or down to low 3% throttle, I should say. We're going to move back up to an 8% throttle because at high speed we need to have a little bit higher throttle, I think, to maintain on this train. So we are going to be maintaining hopefully at 156 for the time being until we hit the point at which we are going to be able to go to high speed. Notice our due time is 15:23. We're set to arrive at 15:18 at this present time. Going to increase throttle a little more because we're losing speed. The next station on our journey, I think, is going to be Ostschatz, and that is about 52 kilometers out from our destination. So we're about 8 kilometers away from there. You hear that beep? Let's go ahead and take a look at what that is, shall we? Gonna go ahead and scroll down now as we're now allowed to go 200 kilometers per hour. The beep was the noise of this thing turning on. That tells us that for the next 10 kilometers there is no speed limit change. We're going to be going 200 kilometers per hour. This is the LZB system. It is in effect on this side of the track. It is not in effect on the other part of the track because that is the regular track. I'm not going to need to show the entire dash, but we are going to at least show that part of it so you can follow along with what the speeds will be on each section because they are not marked on the HUD and there is no signage. That is a station that I believe is closed. Let me actually see if I can get you some information on that before I try to touch the sky here. The closed station, I believe, is... No, that doesn't seem right. I'm not 100% sure where... Oh, okay, I see what I'm doing wrong. Ah, that would be Bornitz. Bornitz is a former station. So that was the station you saw with overgrowth on it. That is not a station that is in effect on this route. So let's go ahead and try and touch the sky now, get to 200 kilometers per hour. I will do that for you now with the early section before we get too far along. So we're going to try and do it without crossing over the speed. As soon as I hit it, I'm dropping that throttle to 0. So we're at 199. And there's 200. That would be an achievement right there. Hitting that 200 will get you an achievement, just like that. Now, of course, I already did it by accident, so I already have it. I can't really show that to you having as a new thing, but now you know that you can get an achievement by doing just that. I'm going to keep the speed just a little bit under the 200. We're going to go ahead and watch the LZB setup. There's nothing else we have to really worry about. All you have to watch out for is a signal, and this is a clear run all the way into Leipzig Hbf. I think we're going to have a signal as we wait for a platform clearance, but other than that, we're clear all the way in, I believe. Currently traveling 198 kilometers per hour. We are now a little less than 51 kilometers from our destination. We might have passed Ostschatz already. We might have passed it. Dahlem would be the next station after Ostschatz. I'm actually gaining speed. I don't want to actually hit 200 again, so let's maintain that. Let's just check the map where we are because I'm curious now. No, we have not actually reached Ostschatz yet. I believe it's right along here. There's... Oh, that's Dahlem. That is Dahlem. Okay, so I did miss a green mark somewhere on this journey, and that was actually where it was. Ostschatz was right back there. I did miss it. That's where all those sidings were back there. If you saw all the sidings back there, that's where the station was. So we're going to be coming to Dahlem next. Increasing the throttle again because we are losing a little more speed than I want to at this stage. You see 4 signals in very close proximity to each other. These signals are all within a mile or kilometer and a half of each other. So if you know you're following another service, you have to watch these signals. You have to be ready to stop for any one of them, because if you're hauling a heavy freight train, you're not going to be able to come to a stop when you see that yellow for the first time. There's no way to come to a stop at a high speed. So you would be limited on a freight train to the speed you can travel in this section. So I should explain that LZB system a little more, because this is the first time we're seeing it on this channel. I don't know too much about it, but I'll explain what I do know. The speed that you're seeing is either the current speed of travel that you're allowed to go, or the upcoming speed. And the upcoming speed would be within a 10 kilometer segment. You're responsible for knowing which speed applies to you in your section of track. So if you have a higher speed before that, you're responsible to know you can still go at that speed a little while longer. But in this case, we know that the 99 means that for 100 units, Every 10 units is 1 kilometer. So basically for every 10th of a kilometer, you get a unit. So for 99 units ahead, there are no changes in speed. You can see that this display just beat and it started counting down those units. You can also see the speed underneath the odometer, or the speedometer I should say, actually changed to say 160. We are going to have to go down to 160 by 9 kilometers from now. So that is not going to be marked on the HUD. We are supposed to follow that information, which is why I changed my display to show you this for this part of the journey. We're now coming up on 8 kilometers away from this change in speed limit to 160 kilometers per hour. I am not calling out stations at all here. I should be telling you about the stations that we passed by. Because we missed Dahlen along the way. We missed Dahlen. We're going to be coming up on Wurzen at some point. Wurzen is about 25 kilometers out from our, closer to 26 kilometers out from our destination. So we're going to see Wurzen as the next major station. That's about 10 kilometers away. There are other little stations along the way, but we'll get to see and call out all of those as we go along. There's another station that seems to be closed. That station, I believe, is the old Kurin. No, it's not Kurin, sorry. I'm not 100% sure what that one is. Dornreichenbach? I don't know. I'm not sure which one that is. In any case, we're now 4 kilometers out. We're probably going to get another beep now telling us that we have to lower our speed. Notice the 40 just disappeared. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if that's a bug. I don't know if it's normal for that to happen, but we do have to know that in 4 kilometers we need to lower our speed. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut our throttle off. We know by about the 30 kilometer point we need to be down to 160. So I'm just letting the speed go down on its own at this point. Now this is a station. I want to say that this station is, that is probably Kuren. I believe that was Kuren based on the mileage marker. That was Kuren station. I'm going to need to lower my speed a little bit more here. Let's go ahead and fix that quickly. We're being given a beep saying that, yep, you need to get your speed down now. We are coming up on the area where you're going to be in trouble. So we're going to go ahead and just behave now. So I'm down to 160. I went ahead and behaved a little early. I'm not sure if there's something else you're supposed to follow that tells you, that's not what I want to do, that tells you where the speed change takes place. I don't know if there's any other display, but you can see we are now at the 160 limit, and it was around that 30 kilometer point as I forecast. So we did get our chance to touch 200. You did see what would be an achievement for any other first-time player. By the way, a fun fact, if you want to really brag, it may not be any point to it, but if you really want to brag about getting hard to achieve achievements, there's so much DLC in this game that if you pick up a DLC that not a lot of other people have, and you can acquire those achievements, you can say that you're one of the only 0.1% of players who have achieved that achievement, possibly even less than that in some cases. So if you see other achievements that are possible to make in a DLC that you own, get those achievements, because you can just brag about being one of very few players in the game who have it. The funny thing is, it just means that most of the players do not have the DLC, and they're still counted in that number, even if they're not playing the routes. So, yeah, if you see someone who has a lot of achievements in this game, and they're all hard to get achievements, he probably just owns a lot of DLC. So that tells you something about some players here. There's always going to be achievements you can earn, but you just have to buy another DLC to earn them. All it means. We continue to be under a green. The other tracks are getting yellows to mean the next signal is a red, whereas ours, of course, is a green. That's why you keep seeing yellows everywhere, because the signals turn green uh, when you're able to travel on that track in the other direction. But you're always going to see yellows because they're only those specific signals can only show green or yellow. So you're going to see either green or yellow on those distance signals, and then the other ones are green or some combination of other lights that mean different things on the main signal. You would not see a red on a distant signal. So again, you can see green and yellow lights in the distance. And by the way, you're getting a marker on our screen now that we can go to 200 kilometers an hour again. This station we're passing by the way, 23 kilometers out from Leipzig, is the, I believe the Benenwitz, formerly the Wurzen West station. We did pass Wurzen a little further back, and I didn't actually point it out. So I'll just show you on the map once I can get my throttle down for a moment. Wurzen itself was way back here, and again, I didn't call it out. I'm not calling out the station because we're just going way too fast. And I look away for a moment, and I miss it. So yeah, we're missing the stations. This is another station right here. I'm going to try to call out more of these stations now. This particular station is Altenbach. I'm not going to go all the way to even to 190 at this point, because I know as we come in, we're going to find that we're going to have a point where there is nothing happening. I actually, on my first run, had exactly that happen. So I had to actually sit and wait for a while. I'm trying to avoid having to sit and wait for a while. So I'm going to actually lower my speed down to the 160 now, so we're ready to go, at least close to the 160. I know that in 9 kilometers we have to be down, so at about the 11 kilometer point I need to be down at that speed. So I'm just letting the throttle, leaving the throttle in idle for a moment. Actually, I don't need to be that low yet. I'm going to go ahead and just go a little further right now. I'm going to stay at 170 for the time being if I can. And then I'll rely on another beat on the display disappearing. That'll tell me when I need to lower it. But I know I'm going to be super early if I keep going at this pace, so I'm just keeping the speed below the limit at this point to make sure that I get to show you some kind of movement as we arrive, and we don't just see a still image. I may still see a still image. So we're at 170 for the time being. We're now 17 kilometers out. We're going to be seeing, we might have just seen Matcham Station or Maturin Station if we have not already seen it. Maturin, I think, just went by a little further back behind us here. Yeah, that's Maturin right there. I literally just said it as we left, apparently. Keep some speed up for a little while here, guy. Come on. There we go. The next station coming up is going to be Posthausen. I'm not sure why it... Actually, we might have already passed that too, if it's even... It might just be a waypoint, might not even be a station, but it would be coming up about now if we see it. Yeah, this is got to be Posthausen right here. Oh no, I lied. That was actually Gerichtshain. By the way, the display has disappeared, so we're 3 kilometers away now from our speed limit change. We're going to go ahead and just maintain 160 at this point. So we did pass the Steenweg Bridge around, well, I think we just crossed it. Borsdorf is going to be the next station we pass. We're going to have a line to Dobeln-Coswig joining us before we reach Borsdorf. So Borsdorf is also served by that line. You can see a 160 speed coming up here, so that means that we are going to be back under regular HUD speed limits. But because I know we're going way too fast, I'm actually going to let our speed drop even further. So I believe this was Borsdorf right here that we just passed. Yes, it was. We're going to, in about a kilometer from now, we're going to cross the Parth River. There's a service coming. I didn't get the information because I was looking at my screen. We still have greens. We're now taking a right. So the display is telling us we can... What am I doing wrong here? That might have just been saying that the system is being turned off. That might be what that was saying. I don't think we have any problems with speed limit right now. I think we are fine for the time being. But that made me panic for a second when I heard that. It still is making me panic. I'm down to 120 now just in case. You can see we're 9 kilometers out from our destination. Is that a yellow? Oh, it just turned green. Okay, we just got a yellow turning to green. So we are following something, it looks like. Because I saw that yellow change to a green, I'm going to go ahead and just keep an eye on that. The LZB system has turned itself off, so there's no more LZB. I'm going to go ahead and change our display back up. You can see we do have a yellow up ahead, so I am going to go ahead and just keep our speed coming down at this point. It just turned green. But knowing what we just saw, I'm going to leave ourselves at 80 kilometers an hour. There's no reason to go any faster. In fact, my display needs to be lower a little bit. I think this is about where it should be, about here somewhere. And now the green signal is persisting, so we do have a green signal showing at the next station. The next station is Engelsdorf, Leipzig Engelsdorf. That's where we are right now. We have a green signal. We can continue. So like I said, we're coming in way too quickly. I'm just going to go ahead and lower the speed down a little bit further. We're just going to go ahead and cruise in, because even at 60 kilometers an hour right now, we would arrive at our stop at 15:16. And needless to say, we're marked as an ETA of 15:18 right now, so something is blocking us. Based on that information on the HUD, something is blocking us. There's no reason to come in as fast as we were. We were way too efficient on this journey. And this is something that, this is again an introductory scenario to the entire batch that comes with the route. So needless to say, this is the introductory scenario for everything with the route. They want this to be a much easier scenario to manage. So they're going to give you lots of time. They're just going to expect you to know that you're getting a red signal at some point up ahead. And we know as well that we were following something. Let's just bring up the map for a second. As you can see the big yard here. There is a train that is not the one we're following. That's one that we're going against. But something else was blocking the way that was causing yellow signals for us. I want to say that train might have gone off into a portal. Or it might even be this one. This might be the train that we were following. We might have been following this train. So that's a possibility as well. That train is taking a different route than we are. So now that he's off our route, we're going to be green right to our stop point. So yeah, even though our speed is 200, I'm going way under the 200 limit right now. I did not think this was a 200 area. Well then. So there's a service coming along now. This is the RB110, number 27734, from Leipzig Hbf to Radebeul Hbf, which I believe is on the route to Berlin. I'm not 100% sure. But that could be somewhere in that area, or maybe I'm thinking of an area somewhere. I don't know where everywhere is. I don't know where all the places are. I'm not going to act like I know. I just know I saw that name somewhere. I think it's actually beyond the Dresden Hbf area. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. One of those two is definitely wrong. Maybe both of them. I see what looks like a flashing green signal ahead, so we're going to have to go back under 100 kilometers per hour. Not a problem. I'm definitely doing that. I seem to be on a 5.0 downhill gradient because I'm gaining speed with nothing applied right now. We're being dropped to a 14, so 140 kilometers per hour. That's not a problem. Right now we're going to be at our stop point in about 3 minutes. We did pass Leipzig Hbf, by the way. I don't think I showed you that when we went by. You might have seen it. Actually, there's another station coming up right here. This station is Leipzig Hbf. Leipzig Hbf right here. And we're going to be moving into the 14 section as we continue along here. You can see we're getting continually warned about this with this yellow 14. The next one's going to have a white 14 above the signal. That means that we're now going to be limited as of this signal to the balmy 140 kilometers per hour. We're going to drop to 100 even on the next signal. Quick poke out at the map. You can see the other station I mentioned, Leipzig Hbf, and of course Engelsdorf is way back here. So that's the freight yard in the middle as well that we have there. And like I said already, I'm only going so slow because I've played this scenario before, and I know that we are going way too fast. We would have a long, long stop point, so I want to make sure you can see the entire area that we're going through in very, very good detail. So let's take a quick look at the area around us right now. In light of that, you can see a garden area over there. It actually looks very nice. Looks very, very nice. So it looks like some gardens. What's growing over there today? Oh, flowers. Well, that's definitely a garden, isn't it? Definitely. Oh, some cabbage or some lettuce there. Very nice. Very nice. 2 kilometers is the marker we just passed. I'm going to continue to slow down now because I believe we have a yellow up ahead. In fact, there's the station beyond, so we definitely have a yellow up ahead. There's a service over there. I'm going to get you the... No, there actually it's an idle stock. Never mind. There's no actual service there. That is just idle stock in the yard. In Leipzig Hbf coach maintenance area. Oh, that froze for a second. That actually scared me. Okay, I actually had some freezing there. That was kind of funny. Except that it wasn't. We're now limited to 80 kilometers per hour on the current signal, so we missed the yellow 8 as we went along here. I believe that is still idle stock over there on the side. We are having some significant lag here. Note to self, I'm going to have to actually lower my quality when I play on this route because I'm having a significant lag in the Leipzig area on a high quality. So I'm going to have to lower this to a medium quality in order to play this route, it looks like. Keep in mind, if your computer does not perform on the higher end, you will have to do the same. I'm going ahead and skipping some of the lag for you so you don't see as much of it. Now our next signal is a red signal. Is that a yellow? I guess I have a yellow. I'm coming in at a good enough speed now. The obstruction that was in the way, I don't actually get to show you anymore because it's gone. Looks like I'm safe to go. 40 is our limit now. I'm just going to go ahead and stay where I am. So if we bring up the map very quickly, there was a train that was supposed to go through. It actually pulled into one of the stops right here. That one of those trains actually came in, and that was what we would have had to wait for if I came in quicker. So I didn't get to show you that this time, unfortunately. But we're coming in well on time anyway, because our arrival time is not until 15:23. We have a full 6 minutes to go, less than 0.2 of a kilometer. I'd say that's plenty of time, wouldn't you? So we're going to platform 14. I don't think this is the path. Well, maybe it is. I guess this is the path to platform 14. Because we're close enough to the station. This has to be platform 14, guys. Has to be. There's, yeah, platform 14 right there. You can see that underground, there's an S2 service to Stotnitz. That is underground, as I said. Because you don't see it on the map anywhere on top. This train next to us appears to be a train that is going to Dresden. It's going to be heading to Dresden from Kolm? This is not Kolm. Kolm. I'm curious why this is a Kolm service. Let's lower our speed just a little bit as we come in. Because like I said, we have lots of time. No reason to speed in. Lady talking on her phone or drinking a coffee. Oh, she's drinking a coffee. She's drinking a coffee. This guy's just walking along to ask for a number, most likely. At least I assume that's what he would do. So you can see the heavy detail here is the reason you have to lower your quality if you don't have a high performance computer. If your computer can't handle this, you're going to have to lower your quality. So in future scenarios, in order to make my editing easier, I'm probably going to do that. Especially for the scenarios that take place on the Leipzig loop, there's no way I'm going to play those at high quality. Absolutely no way. So if I want to, I can go ahead and derail myself here. I'm not going to. Let's take a look from outside the train to see ourselves coming in here. Yep, that's about as close as you can cut it right here. Getting up to that end area right there. I'll stop right there. That's good enough. Doors are open. This is what it looks like from inside the cab. You don't even see the buffer. So let's look at the train as we finish the scenario. Reminder, this is a non-smoking station at Leipzig Hbf. Please use the designated smoking areas, which I assume are these little boxes you see in front of us with fruit on them. Either that or they're snack shops. I'm not 100% sure. In any case, that's the end of this scenario to Leipzig Hbf, platform 14. So we're going to wait for our finishing announcement here to say that we are safe to go get our perfect score, because I don't see how else we couldn't have gotten a perfect score on this scenario. We're watching the clock, so you can see the second hand is going around. It is telling us that we are doing very, very well for time today. That minute hand seems to be on the 20, or is that the hour? The time doesn't seem to make sense. Anyway, good work, driver. You've reached the end of your shift, and another driver will take over. Should be 2 words. For the run to Wiesbaden Hbf. That's why it's a run to Wiesbaden Hbf. So we go to Leipzig and then someone else takes the other part of the journey. Leipzig is just a stopping point and a reversal point. There you go. That happened a lot quicker than I expected. And we actually got an achievement here. Now, I should point out, and this is going to be something you're going to probably ask me, why did I not get this achievement even though I did this before? The reason I did not get this achievement before is very, very simple. The achievements were not yet in the system when I was allowed to first try this scenario. Now I know this, which is kind of funny because the iced tea scenario, or the iced tea achievement, maybe that was, now I'm actually starting to clue in. That 200 in an iced tea achievement was in the system before because we had the iced tea on the unit to garbage incursion previously and on other routes where you were able to go 200 kilometers per hour. So because of that, you were able to get that achievement before in any iced tea. It did not have to be this specific iced tea. So now I know this. The achievement that we got just now, I'm going to bring up my information on the achievements. I don't think you can see my Steam overlay, so I'm going to go on that gamble and assume you can't see that. So the achievements information tells me that the achievement I just earned, that you see on the screen right now, the LD Summer Iced Tea, that achievement appears to be... actually, you know what? I just found it. Okay, I had to scroll to the right point between the completed list and the incomplete list. I had to scroll to where that was, so I found it now. Complete the scenario 01 Iced Tea 1412 Dresden to... Yeah, basically complete the scenario with 700 points. We knew that already because you saw the 700 on the sticker. We knew that already, but that's what it means. I now have official confirmation. That is exactly what it means. So the achievement has been achieved. I don't know if the rest of the scenarios are in the list yet or not, but either way, because I will get them as I complete the scenarios for the second time, you're going to get to see what those achievements are as I get them. So let's not worry about that. We are going to see the achievements as I complete stuff here. Okay, so let's discuss our schedule for the rest of this week here. I just did scenario number 1. You're going to see the new background for Train Sim Classic tomorrow. So that's going to be on the Friday video. I'm going to hold out playing this on any recording session in advance. Even though I've already completed these and I had old videos for these, I'm going to hold out playing any additional run of these 2 scenarios right now because I want to get the new background on here. There will be a few cases the old one will show up. I'm not going to be able to tell you in advance what those routes are because obviously when I go to publish those routes, I'm not going to know about Train Sim Classic. But I will tell you that West Somerset Railway is one of the 3 you can keep an eye out for that will have this old background. There are 2 others that are not yet done being produced. I may still retape some of those. So I may even just do the new background on those anyway. I haven't decided what I'm doing for those yet. I have to decide what I'm going to do. But in any case, I know that West Somerset Railway is going to bring this background back. Otherwise, we're done with this background. For now, we're going to be going to Train Sim Classic. You're going to see it for the first time tomorrow when the game updates on Thursday, which is the day you're seeing this video. I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity to get in here and play this almost immediately after it updates. And I'm going to go ahead and record scenarios 2, 3, 4, and 5, I think, all in one sitting. This last one is only a 15-minute scenario, so it should be a quick one to finish up with on my session. I'm going to save 6 and 7 for later, but by the way, I can now tell you now that it's released, this 8th scenario is a scenario that comes with a certain DLC. I don't believe it comes with the Leipzig DLC itself. I think it's a bonus scenario added to the actual 6682 and whatever the other train is that comes with that DLC. I think it's a bonus scenario added to that DLC. Take a look in the store and see what this DLC says. But I believe this scenario is part of that DLC. Scenario number 8 is automatically in that DLC. And the reason they're numbering this number 8 is because, well, you're not going to see that scenario without the other 7 scenarios in the list. So this is a bonus scenario that just comes with that train. It doesn't actually come with this DLC. They could have done it that way as well. Maybe they did, and I don't know. But the fact that you can't play this scenario without this train, which is not part of this DLC itself, means that the scenario probably comes with that DLC. They could have done it either way. I think this is the way they did it. So keep an eye on that when you get the 6682 DLC as well, that you will get this bonus scenario. This will not show up if you do not have that DLC, I do not believe. So keep an eye out for that. But what we have here is these 4 talent scenarios. I am going to play these tomorrow. As you can see, I've already got the scores on these, but I don't have the achievements. So we're going to see what the achievements are tomorrow. My schedule, again, is tomorrow for Friday video, which is my normal Friday, going to be my normal Friday release. This is a part 2, but because it is 2 separate scenarios, I'm going to go ahead and do part 2 on Saturday, which again is a normal Saturday release for me. I'm then going to go ahead and backlog these for next week. This Talent 2 748 Wurzen to Hal is going to be done on Tuesday. So I'm going to take the Sunday, Monday off. I kind of deserve it at this point. And then the special Wednesday broadcast, which I do those once in a while, is going to be the Leipzig I can't even read that. Miltitzer? Leipzig, whatever. Stotteritz, I believe is what it is. So it's Leipzig to Leipzig Stotteritz. Leipzig Hbf to Leipzig Stotterit. Yeah, I'll figure that out. The 17:30 service. So these are going to be the scenarios that take us through Wednesday of next week. Now, if the next release is something I want to show off, I'm going to try to get the Thursday. I'm going to see if it's releasing on Thursday again, like this one did. And if it did, I'm going to see if I can get a scenario done or a few scenarios done for that one as well. At this point, I can go ahead and backlog them again because I'm going to have the new background, so it's not going to matter anymore. But I'm going to see if I can get those scenarios shown off for you as well on a future release, if it's something I want to show. If I don't have a DLC like that I want to show off this Thursday, then you're going to see something else on Friday. And it may be West Somerset Railway, it may be something else. I haven't decided yet. All I know is that until I actually get West Somerset Railway on here for about a 2-week series, 3 videos each week, you're otherwise going to be seeing me rushing some videos to production here. So once I actually have West Somerset Railway on here, it's going to be a bit of a chance for me to record a bunch of videos and just edit things as I go. I'm going to be back in my element at that point. Right now, I'm rushing videos out for you, and it's probably showing the production quite a bit, isn't it? As I'm getting late updating stuff to YouTube and things like that. So, but I will get these 4 videos all done in one session. You're going to see them on 4 consecutive days in the next 6 days. And these are the next things you're going to see. I want to show you the Leipzig route. You're going to enjoy this route. I've enjoyed it so far. The only thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to change my settings back to medium because clearly my computer cannot handle the high settings that it is set to. So let's do that very quickly. We're going to end the video on that. Over to my settings menu. If I go to my, not my tools, my gameplay, I believe it is. No, that's training controls expert. Yeah, master detail high. I cannot handle this high setting on full screen apparently. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to handle this full setting or this high setting. The contrast brightness are not going to change obviously, but I can't handle high. So we're going to change it to medium. There are advanced settings. Obviously I can use advanced settings for master detail and things like that. I'll come back to that in a second and see what it says, but back to the default. That's not what I wanted to do. Back to the basic I meant to say, sorry. We're going to go, come on, we're going to go to medium. And if I go to advanced here, it's going to show me, well, yeah, nothing different. But yeah, back to this. Oh, now it says custom again. Thank you. So we're going to go to medium. We're going to leave it on that. We're going to save. I'm not going to restart right now. I'm going to leave that for now. But when I come back next time, I will be on medium quality. We're going to have probably no more lag at that point, or at least very little lag. And you're not going to have the lag problem you saw in this scenario. So I'll see you next time for the 1600 service Leipzig Hbf to Dresden Hbf. As you see, I have played these already, and I did recommend a couple changes to them. Hopefully, I like what they did to these scenarios, if they did anything. Otherwise, you know, I'm not going to really be able to comment beyond that because I can't show you what I did before. But I hope that you enjoy these scenarios as much as I enjoy them. I hope you get this DLC to play it yourself because it is going to be a fantastic high-speed DLC. And it's going to provide a lot of additional train content that you can use where it fits around the German routes. There's a lot of German routes in this game, and some of these trains may be able to show up on other German routes as well. That 1442 especially is going to be an interesting one. Keep an eye out for it. Great route. I'm Cyclone. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, support on Patreon, join the Discord server. Have a wonderful day, evening, or afternoon. Bye-bye.